Well, somehow we've come to the end of a week that's been very busy, but we don't seem to have any real evidence of it or anything to show for it. So I'm just going to kind of give you a quick walkthrough of what's been going on this week, and hopefully moving forward we'll be able to do a little bit better job of showing you some progress of some things. So stay tuned. So not first, but definitely something that I'm the most excited about is today is the last day of my 21st year of teaching. So as of right now, I am officially on summer break, and you'll hear Sam say all the time, we're not farmers, because if we were, we would know how to do whatever, like, grow alfalfa or bale correctly or do things. So that's kind of our running joke around here, is we're not farmers, so that's why we don't know what we're doing. So I guess today is the last day of school, but also my first day of just being not a farmer, which I'm super excited about, because hopefully we will learn a little bit more as we go along. And one of my students gave me this beautiful flower basket yesterday, so I get to enjoy that this summer. So in our last video, I talked about how, because we're not farmers, we don't really know all the ins and outs of the moisture in hay and what's good and bad and what's too much. And so we've just decided 16% moisture in the bales is more than what, anything more than that, we are considering too wet. So I was moisture testing all the bales, and when I had, I think 10 bales left, the top row, the third on the stack, I had about 10 of those left, and the moisture meter quit working. The little light came on, but the screen was blank. So we had to Amazon Express a new one, which got here yesterday, and had a little bit of a learning curve of trying to figure out how the new one measured compared to the old one so that we were getting consistent measurements with our hay. But one of the things that I don't know if it's always done it or if it was just this time, when I was testing across the middle, like through here, there would be some that tested fine. But what we noticed yesterday as we were unstacking, so this one has a flag in it because it's too wet, and there's obviously some spots that are too wet. The top one tested fine and the bottom tested fine. So as Sam was unstacking them from here to make sets of 3 that were dry enough to stack in the haystack over here, as he was pulling, so the top one, pretend that the top one's good, the middle one's wet. So he pulled the top one off, then pulled the middle one off to set it aside. And before he would put the top one back on, he would notice that this part, the top part of the bottom bale, would have some spots in it that looked really wet. And so for that last chunk that was sitting out over here that I needed to finish testing, he had me test just the tops of some of them, so just down through the top, and there were some wet spots that were 20 to 30. We're thinking what was left to be stacked from from that chunk was the last stuff that came off the trailer, which would have been the wetter parts of the little pivot. So we're hoping that we caught the majority of it. And we don't know if, because the bale, the middle bale, if it was wet, if it was somehow like seeping moisture or making the one underneath it wetter. Because like I said, it was testing, the bale itself was testing like through the middle and stuff was fine. So it was just a little chunk, like probably didn't go down very far, just kind of on the top. And he said that that's also kind of what he noticed when he was baling was that the moisture meter on the baler would kind of do alerts of just little pieces once in a while, and he wondered if somehow the way it bales it, if it just pushes it towards the top. Again, we don't know. We're just trying to figure it out. So these are all of the bales that we've identified that are too wet. And I was just going to walk over here and check, because I think these are single rows of 3. The dogs loved the shade. So we had the 15, I think, from before, and then these are the ones from yesterday, or that we found yesterday. So there's just 6 more. So I think that's 21. So again, if there was a total of 160 bales, and there are a couple over there that are wet, to have 20 to 25 be less than ideal isn't, I mean, you know, we want as many to be good as possible, but that's not horrible, in my opinion. But again, I could be wrong. So that's everything that we have that's good and usable. Sam has also spent quite a bit of time this week after work working on putting, I don't remember what the technical term is, but insulators, I think is what they're called, on, I think, the T-posts and maybe some of the wood posts that are out back on the fence that we didn't rebuild, so that we can run the hot wire back there to move the cows back. He had to, or chose to, go through that length of fence. It's only 3 strands of barbed wire, but he stretched everything and patched what needed to be patched. So while we didn't tear it down and rebuild it, he's repaired it and made it as good as it can be. So between that and then putting, like I said, putting a hot wire in front of it, we're pretty comfortable with the cows being able to be moved back there. So hopefully, maybe this weekend we can move the cows. Maybe hopefully this weekend we can move the pigs, or a pig. And then the pivots are pivoting. So far they're doing exactly what they're supposed to and continuing to move. Down the corner of the big pivot, down at the bottom, kind of by the mailbox, Sam set up the 3 sets of hand lines there. The top of the big pivot, kind of in that split where we have to spray for all the hemlock and the thistles, there's 3 sets of hand lines up there. And then between, and then across the road, kind of our 4-wheeler road that we use to get from up here to the ditch. Across the road there's a gap where the 2 pivots don't cover, so there's a couple small little sets of hand lines there. So he set the hand lines up this week. Each set has been on, I think, just once, but we usually run each set about once during the week. So yeah, fencing, moisture metering, pivoting, hand lines. That's pretty much been our week. And again, a lot of it's just tedious little stuff that we've either chosen not to film, forgotten to film. There isn't anything really to film, but that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah. So anyway, that's our week. We'll hopefully do some more exciting, interesting things, like I said, this weekend, and have some things to show for you pretty soon. Otherwise, we're just waiting for our alfalfa to grow. And now I get to do my, what do you call it when you train to do something but you don't get paid for it? like an apprenticeship or an internship or something. So yeah, so I get to start my farming apprenticeship for the next several months, and maybe one day we'll actually learn enough about how to do this and do it the right way so that we can consider ourselves farmers. So keep your fingers crossed, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.